Today, when you buy a cup of coffee, you're going to tap a piece of glass or wave a plastic card against a sensor. A silent, digital signal will move across the planet, and you won't think twice about it. But for 99.9% of human history, that gesture didn't exist. When your ancestors wanted something to survive, they didn't hand over tokens, swipe cards, or check a digital balance. They looked into the eyes of someone they had known their entire lives, and they shared. Modern humans almost never think about this. For over 300,000 years, every single one of your ancestors lived in a world completely devoid of money, prices, interest rates, or debt statements. They had no bank accounts, just the land, their hands, and the small tribe keeping them alive. So how did we go from sharing mammoth meat around a fire to laying awake at 2 a.m., staring at a banking app with a knot in our stomach? The answer changes everything we think we know about financial anxiety, greed, and what it actually means to feel secure. Let me start with trust. Because long before money existed, trust was the only currency that kept humans from dying. For decades, economics textbooks taught a simple story. First, there was barter. I give you a chicken, you give me a pair of shoes. When that became inconvenient, we invented money. Except that story is a myth. In 2011, anthropologist David Graeber published a monumental study examining thousands of years of human trade. He found that in virtually every primitive society ever studied, from the Iroquois in North America to early agrarian villages, barter almost never happened between members of the same community. When an ancient hunter brought back food, he didn't sell it, he gave it away. Why? Because inside the tribe, human memory was the ledger. If you helped your neighbor fix their shelter today, your neighbor fed your children tomorrow. Your ancestors survived not because they accumulated individual wealth, but because they belonged to a network of mutual obligation. For hundreds of thousands of years, human security didn't mean having a high net worth. It meant being deeply woven into a community that wouldn't let you starve. So why does losing money today feel so terrifying? Why does a market crash or an unexpected bill make your heart race as if you're being chased by a predator? The answer lies in a biological glitch that scientists only mapped a few decades ago. In 2001, neuroscientist Dr. Hans Breiter and his team at Harvard Medical School ran an experiment published in the journal Neuron. They placed human subjects inside fMRI brain scanners and mapped their neural activity while they were winning and losing money. What they discovered shocked behavioral psychologists. When a person experienced a financial loss, the brain didn't process it as an abstract mathematical subtraction. Instead, the loss instantly activated the amygdala and the insular cortex, the exact same neural pathways that fire when a human experiences severe physical pain or the threat of physical starvation. Your brain was sculpted during 300,000 years of hunter-gatherer evolution. In that environment, losing resources didn't mean your credit score went down. It meant you were going to freeze. It meant your children were going to starve. In 1979, psychologists Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky proved that humans feel the pain of a loss roughly twice as intensely as the joy of an equivalent gain. They called it loss aversion. Your primitive software doesn't know that money is just abstract digital numbers on a screen. When you see your bank account drop, your 300,000-year-old brain reacts as if the winter storehouse was just burned to the ground. So what changed? How did we trade human connection for abstract symbols? The transition happened slowly, then all at once. Around 600 BCE, in the ancient kingdom of Lydia, in modern-day Turkey, kings began stamping uniform gold and silver coins with the head of a lion. For the first time in human history, value was detached from human relationships and attached to an inanimate object. Then came medieval Venetian bankers, who invented double-entry bookkeeping and paper receipts. Then came 1971, when the gold standard was severed, turning money into pure digital fiat. And finally, in the late 2000s, money entered our pockets permanently. The smartphone transformed finance from something you dealt with at a local bank into a 24-hour continuous stream of notifications, red numbers, and flashing stock tickers. Here is something few people realize. The word capital, the very foundation of our economic system, comes directly from the ancient Latin word caput. It literally means head. For thousands of years, a person's wealth was measured in heads of living cattle. Wealth was alive. It grazed in the field. It breathed. It was visible to the entire village. Today, we have digitized caput. We turned living, tangible security into invisible numbers flying through fiberglass cables. And in doing so, we created an economic environment that our biology was never built to navigate. Modern humans check their financial accounts an average of 3 to 5 times a day. We experience phantom spikes of adrenaline when market feeds dip, and we feel a constant, simmering pressure that we never have enough. And we treat this constant money anxiety like a personal disorder. We tell ourselves we aren't disciplined enough, smart enough, or successful enough. But what if it's not a disorder at all? What if feeling anxious about abstract money isn't your mind malfunctioning? What if it's your body remembering what it was built to do? For 300,000 years, your ancestors found security not in a bank vault, but in each other. They went to sleep at night knowing that their safety wasn't stored in a digital ledger, but in the trust of the people sitting around the campfire. We traded that primal human safety net for a glass screen and a digital balance, and most of us never even knew it was gone.